Good morning, Ekoji. Welcome to our Sunday morning service. My name is Meg, and I will be your service chair today. We are grateful for your presence. Today's service is being live streamed on. Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Today's service is being live streamed on Zoom and YouTube. If you are new to Ekoji, you will find in the back of each seat pocket this laminated guide, which will help you through the service and answer many questions you may have regarding the service order, as well as the history and essentials of Shin Buddhism. On the 19th today is our resident minister, Reverend Nariaki Hayashi. Today is a Shotsuki Sunday. On Shotsuki Sundays, we take time to remember our loved ones who have passed on. If you have lost a loved one during a previous month of February, you are invited during the chanting of the Jusei Ge to come forward and offer gasho in remembrance of your loved one. Now it is time for meditation and recitation of the Nembutsu. May I ask something?
Meditation provides a pause that prepares our mind to move on to Buddha's teaching. Please place your hands on your lap, lower your head slightly, close your eyes, and release tension for meditation. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Sorry. Please find the laminated sheet in the service book. We will now sing the Vandana T Sarana, the three refuges. Please rise. Please turn to page 29 in the service book. We will now chant the Zanbujo. Please turn to page 39. We will now chant the Jusei. This morning, the Dharma message is given by Hayashi Sensei.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday service. apologies for the windows. It's really cold today, but we had to, have the air to flow due to COVID. So one of the core teaching in Buddhism is interconnection, meaning that everyone in this world has some kind of connection with everyone else, and basically nothing can exist independently. So this is the first truth that Shakyamuni Buddha taught to the world. But what he also taught was how limited we are to comprehend the totality of the truth of interconnection. But Shakyamuni Buddha's point was not that our limitation is our main problem. That's not his point, because having limitations is rather what it means to be human, because we're never perfect. So rather, his point was the real problem lies in our lack of awareness of our limitations. The lack of our awareness of our limitations. All sorts of critical issues occur in our everyday life, because of our lack of our awareness of our limitations. For example, I heard of a person who was taking care of his fiance, who has terminal brain cancer. One moment she was a nursing student, and the next she was bedbound in hospital. Since her diagnosis, he has been struggling with a lot of things. She's nearly paralyzed on her right side, and her ability to comprehend language has been impaired. And headaches, nausea, and low spirits are all on her list of symptoms. And naturally, as her partner, he has been caring for her, helping her with basic things like walking, reading. He says that when he was caring for his fiance, all of his personal priorities fall to the bottom of the pile. He felt that he didn't exist. He couldn't remember the last time he had a full night of sleep. He couldn't remember the last time he didn't feel stressed out or tired. And he couldn't remember the last time he properly took care of himself and his own needs. We all want to please others and help others. However, like this person, the lack of the awareness of our limitation can cause us to go too far. We do something until we feel overwhelmed, stressed out, and forget about our own existence. At that point, even a good thing becomes a bad thing. As a result, we sacrifice our own physical health, our happiness, and our mental well-being. Of course, thinking, caring, and helping others is important factors in this world of interconnection. But because of lack of our awareness, we tend to push beyond our limits and increase our suffering. The lack of awareness of our limitations also cause us to make extreme destructive judgments. So this is something I talked last week in my Dharma talk. In life, when we think of things, we often make absolute separations in which we set things in opposition, like right and wrong, good and bad, black and white, positive, negative, rich and poor, reality and ideal, and winner and loser. We set up opposing extreme opinions and tend to take an extreme position on one side or the other. Shakyamuni Buddha taught that because for people, life is a succession of grasping and attachments, we make arbitrary distinctions between good and bad, right and wrong. But how much can we actually tell what is absolutely right and absolutely wrong? For example, there was a crime on the news where a woman was caught stealing food from a store. But then it turned out that she was a mother trying to feed her son. She had no money and she had no choice but to steal food from the store. Of course, in society, stealing, theft is a crime. But there's also a problem leaving a child hungry. From this story, you can see how difficult, it's extremely difficult to tell what is really right and what is really wrong. But yet, it is easy for us to make extreme judgments. When we see the world today, this is precisely the case. We tend to think that our justice is the true justice and our right is the only right. And we want others to accept what we believe without ever thinking that others may think that they might think that their justice is the true justice and their right is the only right. As thinking beings, we can empathize with those we oppose and understand that they are as human as we are. But we often fail to do so because of our unawareness. As it is stated in the Flower Garland Sutra, since everything is brought about by many causes and conditions, there can be no distinctions between things. Therefore, what we consider to be distinctions of right and wrong, good and bad, are no more than our bias. Therefore, we have limitations in telling what is absolutely right and wrong differs among people. Our unawareness of this truth deceives us and allows us to think, I'm right, you're wrong. This only leads to conflict, discrimination, and division. Someone who really understood the issue of human unawareness was Shin, the founder of our denomination of Shin Buddhism. When Shin reflected upon himself through the Dharma, he deeply realized his limitations and how unaware he was. He called himself a bombu, a foolish being, and it was precisely because he recognized himself as a foolish being that he took refuge in the path of Nembutsu. For Shinran, he didn't consider it repellent to identify himself as a foolish being. Thus, he did not see himself in the darkness of hopelessness and despair. It was because Shinran encountered the light of hope and comfort in the Nembutsu. The light of hope and comfort is the wisdom and compassion that is embodied in the Nembutsu, the sixth character of Namo Amida Butsu. Now, there are two aspects that we can benefit from the Nembutsu, the practical aspect and the spiritual aspect. So first, I want to talk about the practical aspect of the Nembutsu. So Shin Buddhism, our denomination of Shin Buddhism, is based on a sutra called the Largest Sutra. In the Largest Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha taught to his disciples that there once was a bodhisattva called Dharmakara who aspired to become a Buddha and establish a Buddha land to liberate all sentient beings from suffering. According to the Largest Sutra, Dharmakara Bodhisattva created 48 vows and meditated for 5 long kalpas, practiced for innumerable eons of time to fulfill those vows for the sake of all sentient beings, and finally became a Buddha called Amida. And this is just for information, but the chanting that we did this morning, Jusege, is the content of that Jusege is the vow of Amida. So that's what we are chanting. So this story of Amida Buddha in the Largest Sutra is explained in terms of human experience so that we can appreciate the truth. But the ultimate nature of Amida Buddha transcends time and space. Therefore, it is beyond our comprehension. This is why Shinran stated in the text of Tanisho, the meaning of the Nembutsu is that it is beyond all logic. For it is beyond description, beyond understanding, and beyond conception. The nature of Amida Buddha is beyond our comprehension, Thus, Amida Buddha is inconceivable. Inconceivable means that we cannot understand it through our logic or reason. However, it is in its transcendency that there is a way for us to leave aside our ego, bias, and excessive reliance on the self. So then, because there's this path, even though it remains inconceivable to the end, it is extremely important for us to keep on engaging it by listening to the story of Amida, by chanting the sutras, and reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Amida Buddha, as the immeasurable wisdom and compassion, leads our thoughts beyond our calculations and brings us to become part of something bigger and greater that contributes to the welfare of all sentient beings. There, if anywhere, we can transcend our thoughts and experience a moment of liberation from the absolute I that is unaware of the interconnectedness of life. The second aspect of the Nembutsu is the spiritual aspect. As I quoted once in one of my previous Dharma talks, Reverend Shinazubawa, who is a Shin Buddhist minister in Osaka, Japan, who said, "The truth is that the truth works on the untruth, and as we see the untruth as untrue, it has a power to transform it into the truth." Again, the truth is that the truth works on the untruth, and as we see the untruth as untrue, it has a power to transform it into the truth. The truth is the opposite of untruth, but they are never separate concepts. Truth and untruths are like the two sides of the same coin. Truth exists because untruth exists, and without untruth, there is no truth. This is like the relationship between darkness and light. We can only see the light because there's the darkness. Thought in this way, it can be said that the truth is always with us. The truth is Buddha, and Buddha is always trying to awaken us. And this is wisdom. Wisdom is that which we receive that awakens us to our limitations. And what we realize through the wisdom is that we cannot overcome our limitations completely. But there is the compassion that embraces us regardless. Another Shin Buddhist minister, Reverend Shojun Bando, said, "Wisdom and compassion itself is Buddha. Wisdom and compassion itself is Buddha." Therefore, it is not that a Buddha becomes wisdom and compassion and works on us, but the wisdom and compassion that works on us itself is Buddha. Wisdom and compassion are not separate aspects, but wisdom is accompanied by compassion. We need to receive both the wisdom that awakens us to our true selves and the compassion that supports us no matter what. It is when the compassion touches our heart that we can securely accept and become aware of our limitations revealed by the wisdom. It is stated in the largest sutra, without being asked to do so, Buddha becomes a good friend to each of the multitudes of beings and carries their heavy karmic burdens for them. Therefore, compassion is a commitment and promise that Buddha will shoulder our heavy karmic burdens no matter how backbreaking and never to abandon us. That is to say, the compassion of Buddha not only sympathizes our limitations, but owns it along with us. Shinran reveres such Buddha of wisdom and compassion as Amida Buddha and says, "The profound compassion of Amida Buddha accepts us just as we are." Shinran had the expression that the infinite envelops the finite. The infinite envelops the finite, which means that we as limited beings are always supported and surrounded by the unlimited wisdom and compassion. And we encounter this wisdom and compassion through the saying of the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. It is because reciting Amida Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu, is our action, but it is at the same time the action of Amida Buddha. Thus, Shin says that Nembutsu is the call of Amida Buddha. That is, it is not we who call on Amida, but Amida calling on us through us. In other words, our recitation of the Nembutsu is Amida Buddha working in us. A very devoted Shin Buddhist follower, Saichi, once wrote a poem that reads, "Where is Amida? Amida is here in me, filling my heart, saying the Nembutsu." That is to say, when the bright wisdom illumines us, we awaken to our limitations. This is to receive wisdom. In addition, although we cannot overcome our limitations perfectly with our imperfect selves, we are never to be abandoned. So we can securely accept and become aware of our limitations. This is to be embraced by compassion. It is this immeasurable wisdom and compassion that enables us to live fully without being discouraged or without losing the path of spiritual liberation. In life, what we really need is such wisdom and compassion, especially in this time of crisis where we can easily lead ourselves to isolation in this interconnected world. During such a time, the heart of Amida Buddha that is contained in the sixth character of the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, shines even brighter so that we can find hope, comfort, and gain awareness of who we really are. Please join me in Gassho. By reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, we are reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful, and we are also reminded the Dharma in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. I would like to do a reading. So would you all please open to page 21. Let us all read the White Ashes. You could follow after. In silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of men. Thus, we have not heard of human life lasting for 10,000 years. Life swiftly passes, and who among men can maintain his form for even 100 years? Whether I go before others or others go before me, whether it be today or whether it be tomorrow, who is to know? Those who leave before us are as countless and as fragile as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may be white ashes. When the winds of impermanence blow, our eyes are closed forever, and when the last breath leaves us, our face loses its color. Though loved ones gather and lament, everything is of no avail. The body is then sent into an open field and vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. There is nothing more real than this truth of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and old, and therefore we must, one and all, turn to the teaching of the Buddha and awaken to the ultimate source of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we shall come to fully appreciate the meaning of this life, which is unrepeatable and thus to be treasured above all else. The virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexcellent value of our human existence, and let us live with the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in our hearts. Namo Amida Butsu.
It is now time for a ritual of Oshoko, traditionally the burning of incense. This is a time to quietly contemplate and reflect on the impermanence of life. Due to the interim policies of the board and the influence of the COVID virus, Incense burning is not being allowed as it would involve the handling of incense pieces and would result in smoke. We invite you to come forward to the front table, offer a guest show, and should you wish, place any dana, which is our offering of gratitude to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha in the bowl on the table. Please approach mindfully with safe distancing. Once finished, please return to your seats via the side aisles. Reverend Hayashi will now lead us in closing meditation and recitation of the Nembutsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you. It is now time for our closing announcements. Our Dharma discussion group meets immediately after the 11 a.m. Sunday service. All are welcome to pull up a chair around the computer or stay on the Zoom line. The service is streamed via Zoom to YouTube if you would like to join from the comfort of home. Please continue to RSVP if you'll be attending in person on Sunday. This allows us to maintain adequate spacing between households and have your contact information should the need arise. Our Buddhist movie discussion group will meet on Sunday, February 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Ekoji Zoom room to discuss the film Groundhog Day. The group is open to everyone and all are welcome to join. The deadline to order a floral or chocolate arrangement for Valentine's Day is this Thursday, February 10th. Additional details can be found at ekoji.org. The Eastern Buddhist League annual conference is scheduled for February 12th and 13th. Ekoji is providing the opening service. RSVP for this on our website, ekoji.org, and find additional details on the EBL Facebook group. Thank you for those who participated in our first Obon 2022 planning meeting. A lot of great ideas were exchanged, and we are excited to host a fun and engaging event. Please keep an eye out for more information about how you can help in the coming weeks. All are welcome to attend Thursday night's meditation group here in the Hondo, beginning at 7:30 p.m. Hosted by Frank Swithers, I hope I pronounced your name okay, and Roger Scott. And lastly, a big thank you to everyone who came early to help clean the temple.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.